Hello everyone. Broken news. Kremlin, basically the spokesman Dmitry Peskov, has of Russia, in case you do not know, has confirmed that Russia is pulling out its peacekeepers from Nagorno-Karabakh. This is posted by Ukrainska Pravda, and it's very funny that they actually dog ear the peacekeepers because that's exactly what they do. Although, of course, you can also dog ear because they didn't really keep the peace very successfully because there is still war happened, and Azerbaijan conquered the Nagorno-Karabakh from Armenia. So basically, according to the article, it's very interesting. European Pravda citing the Interfax saying that, wow, that is so complicated. Who is actually reporting what? So basically, Peskov is asked to comment about Azerbaijani media reports about the withdrawal of Russian forces, and he confirmed that it is true. So Interfax did not, in their report, did not really talk much about no other details about the withdrawal. It is also not being mentioned by the Russian Defense Ministry. As I'm reading their Telegram every day, I didn't really see anything about that. So the peacekeepers are now basically withdrawing, and media reports say that this process will be completed in a few days, and then Azerbaijan will regain full control over Karabakh and its land. And so this is actually very significant because with the withdrawal of the Russian forces from Nagorno-Karabakh, they would mean a complete conquest of the land over there by Azerbaijan. However, it looks like peace is not exactly going to be between Armenia and Azerbaijan just yet. There's still some border stuff. There's some skirmishes. There's some rumors about Azerbaijan, still wants to start some war. So, so that's something that's happening right there. But I want to talk a bit more about this peacekeepers of Russia at Nagorno-Karabakh. I think the Russian forces being deployed as peacekeepers is a good way to understand Russia's perspective or way of behavior in coming into the future. Because as Russia, looking like they're going to win the Ukraine war, and they're going to come out of this Ukraine war stronger than ever before, perhaps even as a superpower. A lot of countries have a lot of hopes that Russia would actually, become a real world police, really help to bring peace to all the regions, provide a real counterbalance against the West. However, this doesn't exactly gonna feel like it is gonna be true, because if you look at how Russia had dealt with the situation of Republic of Aqsa or or also known as Nagorno-Karabakh, Russia basically don't do much at all. They basically was there just to make sure that the two sides try not to fight. But if the two sides fights, Russia will not intervene. And I think this is very important to note. A lot of people have too much hope about the multipolar world, that it was going to be more peaceful. However, we are now actually stepping into it, and actually there's actually more conflict that is currently happening. Suddenly the world went on fire. This is a huge difference from the time, let's say, just before Biden was the president. Even in the last like 2-3 years of in the Trump's administration, during those years there was almost not much war currently happening then. At least United States didn't go and start new wars, and but today we are seeing a lot of huge wars, and especially civil wars happening. Sudan, Ethiopia is also looking a bit funny. Rwanda is stirring stuff with Congo. Pakistan and Afghanistan, was looking weird. Afghanistan with Iran also looks a bit weird. Then you have the Azerbaijan-Armenia war. You have Israel-Hamas war. You have Russia-Ukraine war. You have all sort of things happening all around the world. And of course, we still got Myanmar civil war. So a lot of things happening, and you can see that Russia don't really participate at all in most of these things. like they don't really go in to stop the war. Even if you can say that Russia, did some, send the Wagner forces to help a certain side, that is also very minimal if you consider the number of soldiers or advisors that were sent to these kind of places. I think um, I think this peacekeeping of the Russian forces over at the Nagorno-Karabakh is a template, to know how Russia will behave. And I would suggest people not to have put too much hope on Russia to keep the peace. And even if you look at another place that Russia did really intervene, is actually Syria. I think Syria is the only one that Russia actually really put in their forces and try to intervene in the ongoing conflict, and to mixed success, mixed success. But then now that the situation in Syria is stabilized, you can also see Russia's behavior, the way how they deployed their peacekeeping force between Turkish supported forces versus on one side, and then the Syrian government forces on the other side. Again, Russia is doing this non-interference sort of behavior. They are not solving the problem for anyone. They're just there to maintain a certain level of status quo. So you still have the rebel forces on the northwestern part of Syria that is still backed by Turkey, and they are unable to really go to war or fight with the Syrian side very actively. There is this stalemate that is currently on being imposed over there, and the Russian forces simply patrols this front line to make sure that the two sides do not fight. And that's what Russia brings to the world. So I think don't put too much hope into peace per se. And I mean, because Russia don't like to take side, they are very neutral generally speaking. So for most things, not everything. No, for most things, they seems to be very neutral. So no, yeah. So this is just something that I feel like I want to talk about. So this is the broken news, that the Russian forces basically have withdrawn their peacekeepers from Nagorno-Karabakh, and Azerbaijan is going to fully take over everything in that hilly region. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next update.